Away from the second leg of this two-round competition, but a new pattern of turns has been set by the Canadian coach Manuel Gamper. Not so much the new pattern of turns, but the snow condition has become the talk of the finish area right now, as we look back at the best performances from the first leg earlier this morning. Tessa Worley drew bib number 1. Now, early this morning, one or two of the opinion leaders thought that bib number 1 would be a serious disadvantage to the former world champion back in 2011. But Worley was having none of it whatsoever. And joining myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box is our resident expert analyst and former British number 1, Finlay Mickle. Finlay, it's not easy being the first skier out of the gate in a World Championships, and Worley just didn't ski it, she smashed it.
Yeah, she absolutely smashed it. And what she did better than anyone else is she made no mistakes on the line, and she was so clean, as we can see her rolling from one edge to the other, and she put so much power through the ski, and that gives her more acceleration than the rest.
Incredibly cold temperatures overnight have created a dry snow, which we're used to seeing in resorts like Beaver Creek or Aspen in Colorado. Very rare over here, but we're skiing at over 2,000 meters, and the snow is suiting Tessa Worley perfectly. No slipping, no sliding, arc to arc, turn to turn. Tessa Worley set a blistering first run time of 1 minute 02.01 seconds, a time no other skier was to better. Now let's analyse the skiers in first and second, Finlay. Goggia in the light blue of Italy, the darker suit of Worley for France.
Yeah, you can see Worley doing a small mistake after the traverse. This is on the main section of the pitch, but Worley's catching back up with Goggia now, and then she's taking ahead. She's taking a cleaner, tighter line than Goggia. Goggia's been very aggressive, but she's getting a little bit caught in the gates as well.
Well, Sevilla Goggia, who's had no luck at all at these championships, finds herself 0.48 of a second off the pace of Worley, but holds on to the silver medal position. Now let's do exactly the same with Worley in the dark suit and Mikaela Shiffrin of the United States of America, looking for her first giant slalom world championship medal of her young career.
Yeah, Mikaela Shiffrin here just creating more snow, sliding off the ski at the top of the turn, trying to float it on when Worley's just rolling it on and powering it through.
Let's hear from Tessa.
I'm excited, but for sure the day is not over. There's this second run to do, and I'm happy with my skiing in first run, so I'll try to keep this spirit and try to push harder in second.
Well, of course, Tessa Worley, like this lady on screen, Anna Veit, is a former world giant slalom champion. She knows exactly what needs to be done on the second leg. Veit finishing in 23rd position, still not fully fit from the comeback of injury. Tessa Worley is most definitely the lady to beat here in St. Moritz, and we'll have the full story live here in Eurosport after the quick break. Welcome back to St. Moritz. Countdown to the second leg of the women's giant slalom is well underway, and the top 30 from the first leg go in reverse order. It's a real shame for Alex Tilley of the Delancey British ski team. She finished 31st and just misses the magic group. Tommy gets the action underway for Canada. Stuhetz is the downhill champion. Good to see her make the top flight. Tina Weireit, a silver medalist from the Super G. Bernadette Schild, 20, with the Austrian team, the slalom expert, showing superb GS skills. But this is the page where the medals will be decided. Worley, with the last 10, has a 1.5 second advantage from Bassino, down to just under half a second for Goggia. Worley will ski last of the top 30 in her quest to take her third World Championship gold of her career. Well, every possible viewpoint is sought after by the coaches. It's now very warm up on the mountain. Let's get another quick chat with Finlay here. Finlay, you've been up looking at this new pattern of turns. How much is the snow changing? How different is the second course?
Yeah, the snow really is changing. It's as warm as 0 degrees on the surface area. They've used a little bit of salt on that to try and make it consistent, and it's less rhythmical this time around.
Second run of the World Championship Giant Slalom from St. Moritz in Switzerland. This is the penultimate race for the women. here in the Swiss Alps, and the giant slalom is one of the most closely and largest contested, biggest start field of the championships. It all begins with giant slalom in your quest to be a ski racer. It is the base of all technique. It is what you have to ski well before you can go to speed on one side or slalom on the other. Young Michaela Tommy gets his second leg underway with her coach Manuel Gamper setting this second leg and over 40+ turns.
Yeah, this is the main pitch, and it's more across the hill, so there's more pressure going down through the skis, and she seems to have kept the speed. It's so key to keep the speed because you need to carry it out onto the lower flats. She's got the match for this, but then she's down on the inside.
What a disappointment for the Canadian. A DNF on the second leg, and that is a golden opportunity gone by. The perfect piece, and she just overcooks it.
Yeah, she just didn't get the pressure over the outside ski, and the ski goes away so quickly. What we have today is not only changes of rhythm in the course, but changes of snow surface. A little bit softer through that turn there, and that's why the ski's washed out. She wasn't strong enough over the outside.
Another disappointment for the Canadian women's team, with their men taking 3 medals. Gay taking gold in the Super G, silver in the downhill, and Manny Osborne Paradis taking a bronze back to Canada. Into the start gate once again. Germany will be next to go. This is at Lena Dua. Quite a surprise for many here in St. Moritz, but Germany are yet to win a medal at these World Championships, and the news on Felix Neureuter is not good. The German #1 tweaking his back in the team competition 48 hours ago, and we're still not sure whether the great German Felix Neureuter will start in tomorrow's men's giant slalom. Now, Lena Dua, again, Finley, must take full advantage of the smooth, clean track, as we've only seen half of it skied so far.
Yeah, it'll be more difficult because she won't know exactly what's going on. She won't be able to see the other athletes, but she gets the track to ski whatever line she wants. And she's picking a good line on this main part of the steep. She's nice and early in that line, and she's putting the power down. But, you know, this is where the terrain comes. This is where we saw the mistake before, because the snow's changing lower down.
Well, the snow looks very soft on 1 or 2 of the gates. Quite remarkable that we're getting temperatures of -18 overnight, but look how soft the race piste is here. Then it goes a little icy. Now, these fall-away turns in the closing part of the challenge will be make or break. You've got to be very strong and accurate on the left foot. Here's the left foot turn again, right across the mountain, making the last 3 gates a tuck, straight finish. 2:09.42 total time, that is, over the 2 legs. Germany into the lead.
Yeah, she got good balance on that snow there. She was able to be stronger on that outside ski, and it doesn't wash away. But look at how much snow is peeling up. It's peeling up in sections there.
Well, looking more like an end-of-season spring race than a mid-February championship. But that's the name of the game. That's why the athletes train in all conditions. It's a classic open skill sport, ski racing. And you need to be able to ski in the mush, the slush, the ice, you name it. You've got to be able to carve through it. Katarina Paulatova for Czech Republic is out on course. Just 1/100th of a second is the advantage that the Czech racer carries forward over the German leader, Dua. And with just 1 bit of World Cup form against her name, Paulatova doing exceptionally well to qualify in the top 30 on the second leg, Finley.
Yeah, so from bib number 48 to make that top 30 was a fantastic first run. But this seems to be a little bit more difficult for her, this further across the hill. She's struggling to get those skis to come all the way around on a clean carve, but she's catching up in time, though.
Yeah, struggling on the opening turns, but she's found the rhythm much better on the mid to lower part of the challenge here. We'll watch carefully as he goes over what was the Rheinalter Sprung in the downhill in full. But these fall-away turns is where you can make a lot and also throw a lot away.
This is the change of the rhythm where we're talking about. The gates go from 27 metres to 20 metres, so you have to make much more quicker moves through this section.
Yeah, it's going to be a test of the physical fitness this second leg, that's a fact. Paulatova for the Czech Republic, 0.78 off the pace and into runner-up position.
Oh, great shot, so close to the racer. Really gives you the feel of how fast they're going past the gates.
The hitting speed.
There will be attacks all over this country. Do you understand me?
There's a situation at CTU. I'm the only one who can help.
I think Khalid's people found us. They're gonna kill a lot of people. I have to try and stop them.
Why does it need to be you?
Carter was the youngest squad leader in the history of the Rangers. He doesn't fail. The battle isn't over until he wins.
Get here.
Then we better hurry. This is only the beginning.
The hitting speeds of over 100 kilometers per hour, just over 62 mph was one of the average times. It's a fast giant slalom. The first run, this second leg looks just a little slower, a little more technical. 27th position after the first run for Kaiser Kling from Sweden. 17th position, her best results at these championships to date in the downhill last week. 0.14 is a healthy advantage to start the second leg. But again, Finley, she just looks a little passive for me. I want to see more dynamic, more go-get technique and style, and that reflects in the first
bit. You're bang on to be 9/10 lost in the top opening turns, especially when it's flat. You need to generate the speed. The way to generate the speed is to put more power through the legs. Now you're on the steeper section, you have to control the speed, and she's controlling the speed well.
Yeah, that's more like it. A little higher in the racing line, getting off that turning edge as early as she possibly can to give her a slightly straighter, more direct line through the turn.
Nice, quick moves, one edge to the next, real athletic turns through the section.
Now she needs to show strength. She needs to dig deep here, believe you me. This is a high-altitude racetrack. Legs are burning. That lactic acid builds up and just slows the muscle movement, and she's done it. Kling shows good form, good strength. A little slow to find the rhythm, but the last two-thirds were excellent from the Swedish racer.
You can just see how much risk you have to take when you have to take the gate out of the way with the upper part of your arm.
Ilka Štuhec for Slovenia, finishing the first leg in 26th position, 0.11 of a second the advantage for the newly crowned Slovenian world downhill champion. Now, Ilka has scored not only points in giant slalom on the Women's World Cup Tour, but also in slalom as well. And with one gold already in her back pocket to take home, it would be no surprise to see Štuhec, with absolutely no pressure on her shoulders whatsoever, steal the lead here and move up into the top 20.
Yeah, and down she goes just as it was getting turnier. She was so nice on the top section, but when it became more GS-like lower down, she struggled.
And also there's a change of snow conditions. Soft on some gates, icy on others, where the chemicals have worked, but some of them they haven't. Here she is out of position already, leaning way too much on the inside. And once all of your weight goes up on that uphill ski, Finley, the feet come from underneath you so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw there, she didn't make the tactical change from the straighter topper turns to the main steep. There's much more distance across the hill, and you have to change your approach.
Keeps the legs nice and straight as she falls, so she doesn't twist up and turn the knee. She's up on her skis, no injury for Ilka Štuhec, but the chances of the second medal disappear. There is Kaiser Kling leading for Sweden. Early days in the second leg. Remember, top 30 go in reverse order. Worley of France will be the last of the 30 to go, and the last of the skiers to try and claim a medal. The USA are in the gate. Megan McJames is the next skier on course. Now, I'm not sure Megan McJames will take a medal here, Finley, but what she could do is give a very valuable course report to Michaela Schifrin, who lies in third position.
Yeah, it is an individual sport when you kick out the gate and that one goes and the clock starts. But when you get to the bottom, you want to help your teammate out. You want to see some, you know, a good team helps each other out, and it all adds the confidence that's gained from a top performance is confidence for everyone within that team environment.
30th in the Olympic giant slalom 3 years ago now, Sochi 2014. Pyeongchang is less than a year now, the host of the 2018 Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. Nice top turns from Muck James, but as Finlay has already pointed out, the sting in the tail comes from the halfway point on. Yeah, really strong turns from Megan. She changed the tactical approach and she was really able to power through the turns, down through the steep, and now out onto the flat. She's taking the risks. She really is hammering the gates, and her lead increases to 0.84. Good work from the American, 29 years of age, a lot of miles and experience under those skis, as Megan McJames just needs to keep this tempo, this form going all the way to the line. The United States of America take the lead from Sweden. McJames into top spot by over half a second. Yeah, that really was the best tactical ski we've seen so far in this second run. She really changed her approach to make those big steep turns more from behind. Marie Pieterli-Holmner for Sweden. Now, Holmner, a World Championship silver medalist back in 2011. Actually, back in 2007, my apologies, when Nikki Hosp took the World Championship gold for Austria. What I'm trying to say, Finlay is a very experienced racer. She'll know how to deal with the change of snow conditions. Just a little late there. But those years of experience get her out of trouble, but she loses a lot of time. I was just going to say she's got the touch for the snow, but then she didn't have the tactical choice. She's going too straight at the gates on the steep, and that's why we see that deficit of 0.61 now. And that error puts paid to MPH's chances of a medal. Nice soft touch on the turning ski. She's keeping it around about 7/10 off the pace, but that will drop her outside of the top three positions. Maria Pieterli-Holmner of Sweden also shows us that there's very little room for error on this racetrack. 0.59 off the pace, down to third position. Megan McJames still leads for the USA. And all that energy going through the skis, trying to find the grip. Look at the tip bouncing around. The defending champion, Anna Veit. She was known as Anna Fenninger when she won the World Championship Giant Slalom gold in Beaver Creek, Colorado 2 years ago. But it was the start of the 2016 season in Solden, Austria, where she had a training accident and kept her off the tour for the whole of last season. I'd say, Finlay, the comeback is going well. It's just that when you have a skier of Fenninger's class and quality, when she comes back to the racetrack, the expectation is automatically incredibly high. Yeah, she has some great turns at the top, and we saw that Anna Veit of old, where she was able to create such huge hip angles. But then when it becomes steeper, when you've got to put more power and pressure through that injured knee and leg, she just doesn't seem to have the explosive power that she had. But it's starting to come back. We're seeing it on the easier turns. We're not yet seeing her best on the more difficult turns. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She's a World Championship gold medalist. She's the overall World Cup champion. She's won just about everything the sport has thrown at her. But what she has to learn now is the injury comeback. It seems to be a part of every racer's life these days. And Anna Veit, formerly Anna Fenninger, on the comeback trail. She said in her interview she's delighted just to be here. And that's a little cruel. 1/100th off the pace. Veit into second position. But what we can confirm, Finlay, this lady, touch wood, will be physically fit for the Olympic Games this time next year, and will be a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely, yeah. Just you can see the increase through the easier turns. She was just magnificent, but struggling with the harder ones. Frida Hansdottir is one of the top slalom skiers in the world, and as is the tradition in World Championship competition, the slalom races come right at the end of the championship. Hansdottir, I'm not sure she's a skier that really believes she can take a medal in the GS, but what she can get, Finley, is some very valuable experience of this slightly different, slightly weird, I'd say, snow condition for a European ski resort in the middle of February.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's taking some risk, and the risks are working right now. She really has the biggest angles on the hip we've seen so far down the steep, and that shows in the time, 0.57 on the green on the clock.
A winner on the Women's World Cup Tour in slalom. We know that. She won the slalom title last season. Never better than 14th on the GS Tour. This is good work from Sweden's Frida Hansdottir.
Very dynamic turns, really putting the power down early in the turn and able to create a great stable platform on the skis, accelerating from one turn to the next.
And I know who'll take heart from this performance is another slalom specialist, Michaela Schifrin. Now here comes Frida, looking for the line, dips and takes the lead by a very healthy margin. Superb second run charge from the Swedish racer, Frida Hansdottir, into top position. Megan McJames now to runner-up spot, and a Veit, the defending champion, in the bronze medal position.
That run really showed the level of risk you have to take to tame this mountain, and then she made the right tactical choices at the right times as well.
Melanie Maillard for Team Switzerland finished the first run in 21st position, actually tied with the new leader Frida Hansdottir. This lady is only 18 years of age. This time last year, Finley, she was taking a bronze medal, but in the World Junior Championships, not the Senior Championships. It's quite a remarkable story, but to put it all in perspective, a very mature head on young shoulders.
Yeah, and what we're starting to see from the Swiss team is the strength and depth from the younger competitors. We're used to seeing it from the Austrians, but the Swiss have really got it going for their team right now as well.
Yeah, credit where it's due for Urs Lehmann, president of the Swiss Ski Federation. That's how he wanted to play his tenure as the president. He wanted to bring new life and new blood into the Swiss team, particularly for these championships. And so far, so good. This young skier has a huge future ahead of her.
Yeah, she's keeping the green light going, and she's keeping the explosive power going to the end of the challenge as well.
Switzerland's teenage star, Melanie Maillard, will also race the slalom here on Saturday, but now looks to take the lead on giant slalom day in St. Moritz. And it is top position. Melanie Maillard, almost a quarter of a second ahead of Sweden's top tech racer, Frida Hansdottir, and she's only 18.
A stunning ski all the way down the mountain, so explosive and powerful through her turns. And then she made the right tactical choices. She feathered the top of the turn when she needed to carry the speed out onto the lower flats.
Well, I met young Melanie at the Bolle press conference earlier this week. She's not as confident with her interviews as she is with her skiing, but one thing at a time, I'm sure the coaches are saying. The fans delighted to see Switzerland go into top position, and Marie-Michelle Gagnon out on course as quick as she can for Canada. Almost made the same mistake as Michaela Tommy, the other Canadian who went down as the opener to this second run.
Yeah, Gagnon was just so far inside the turn. You need to build some pressure on that outside ski before you can really get your body inside that. And she seemed to just be rushing at the top of the course.
.48 now off the pace for Mitch Gagnon, longtime partner of Travis Gannon, the American downhill racer. And
she just seems to be a little bit behind this course. All the lines are latest lines we've seen, so that's where we're seeing that .8 come from. She's struggling. She's going straight at the gate, and a lot of the action's happening too late in the turn.
And this is what we talk about when we say rhythm and flow and feeling for the track. She's making hard work of this, rather the new leader Maillard made it look oh so easy. Gagnon goes into third position. She nearly went down in the first three turns, but the Canadian managed to salvage a top place. Hansdottir just stripping down the finish area out of the race suit. Here's Gagnon's recovery.
Yeah, that really gives us an indication of the snowpack and what's going on. You need to be so strong to bite that ski into the softer snow conditions.
Michele Kirchgasser of Austria next on course, 19th position from the first run. 0.2 of a second, the Austrians' advantage over the Swiss leader. Kirchgasser already with a bronze medal in the Alpine combined, has 0.2 of a second advantage over the young Swiss leader as she heads out of the start gate and weaves her way through the upper turns.
Yeah, Kirchgasser looking powerful, looking like she's out to attack this run. Slight tactical choice in these wider turns. Pays dividends in line for the middle part. Sometimes you have to give off a little to allow it to take the speed out onto the bottom of the steep as well. It is a tactical game as well as an aggressive game of ski racing.
Kirchgasser will appreciate getting 2 runs of track time in preparation for Saturday's women's slalom, where she is favourite to claim a second medal. Not so good on the World Cup tour coming into these championships, and that's what we've used as the form guide to these races. And it's ironic that the 1, 2 and 3 in the standings are 1, 2 and 3 in the race after the first run. 0.18, Kirchgasser into the lead. Now that may not be good enough for a medal, but that will give Michele a huge...
I love getting free movie tickets, but with the RBC Rewards Plus Visa card, I can also redeem my points for whatever I want.
Good enough for a medal, but that will give Michele a huge confidence boost going into the slalom this Saturday.
Yeah, she got a good feel for the snow on the way down there, and she knew how much power she needed to put onto the skis. And that's a beautiful turn after the undergate and the jump. Really on the limit there.
Back to the top of the racetrack. Norway are in the gate with Ragnhild Mowinckel. 17th position after the first run, but only 1/100th of a second advantage over Kirchgasser. So Mowinckel, who didn't really get a clean run on the first leg, needs to just tidy things up here on the second, and she could take the lead from that Austrian.
Yeah, she's such an aggressive, powerful skier. You see how low she's getting that upper body down. She's really looking for every moment to go faster, but she's a risk taker as well. And sometimes they work, and sometimes they don't work.
Just struggling to get the purchase of the turning ski. There's another error from the Norwegian. Don't get me wrong, they're impressive high-speed recoveries from Ragnhild, but she's just not getting that clean arc all the way through the turn. The ski breaks away at the wrong point in the edge and carve. Let's see if she can draw no speed skills on the lower section. She's lost now half a second since out of the gate.
Yeah, she's not looking as smooth as some of the other girls. She seems a bit more clunky with her movement. It's on or off, and you need to be more progressive in the movement.
Fourth position for Mowinckel, not finding the smooth line, but let's go into the finish area and hear from Jonathan.
Lassie Cuse is alongside me. Lassie, thanks for joining us. How are you enjoying the sun here in St. Moritz?
Enjoying it very much. It's beautiful here. But I think it's a little bit too warm, being in February.
It's making for some interesting snow conditions.
Yeah, it demands a little bit more from the organizers. So I saw them were using salt up there. So I think the condition will be good for the girls.
So let's talk a little bit about the Norwegian performances here. First of all, looking back to the speed events, Kjetil and Alexander, how did you see them going?
Yeah, they were not before. Alexander was performing very well, I think, in the Super G. And but Kjetil was, I think he was underperforming a little bit, not at his best shape this season. And yeah, I believe he was a little bit disappointed with the results and only grabbing one medal.
Do you think they miss having Svindal here? He's like the leader of the team.
I don't know. Of course, it's an influence. He's always a favorite when he's on start. But it's difficult to say. If you look back in 2 years back at the World Championships in Wales, Kjetil was also underperforming a little bit there. He had really good season before the World Championship, and were not able to deliver at the same level. So I don't know why he was not able to do it here, but yeah.
Let's look forward to the weekend. Henrik Kristoffersen to the weekend on Sunday with the slalom. Henrik Kristoffersen up against Marcel Hirscher. It's going to be a big highlight.
Yeah, Henrik is, of course, favorite on Sunday. He can do some good in the giant slalom also, but I think the course is not steep enough and not icy enough for him to have a good result in the giant slalom. But in the slalom, for sure, we expect him to win.
Thanks for speaking to us, Lasse.
Well, one of the great legends of Norwegian ski racing, Lasse Kjus, multiple Olympic and World Championship golds against his name. Interesting to hear Lasse say that he doesn't think the piste is steep enough for a World Championship giant slalom. Whilst we look at Tina Väyryttä, Finley, it's something that you and I have been debating long and late into the night, that this race piste might not be steep enough or icy enough for Dave riding as well, particularly with these warm conditions we're experiencing on the second leg.
Yeah, the good news for Dave Riding and the guys is that they've put this Balkan bar throughout all of the racetrack, which ices it up, but they didn't do that for the ladies' side, so we've got more traditional snowpack on this, the GS side on the ladies, but expect it to be harder for the men on the snow.
Well, we certainly hope so, and other opinion leaders are saying early numbers are the name of the game, and we've seen that today with Tess Worley drawing one on the first leg and easily leading, but she goes number 30 on the second, and that will be the exciting finale to this second leg. Tina Väyryttä, her mum and dad, former World Championship gold medalist Hanni Wenzel, and Harti Väyryttä has to settle for 6th position, but she has a silver to take home after the women's Super G. No changes in the top positions here in St. Moritz at the halfway point of the women's giant slalom. Michaela Kyrkkäsä sets the pace after the 2 runs at 2 minutes 07, spot 59. Maillard is second, Beaumounier is in 3rd position. The fastest 15 coming up live after the messages. Welcome back to St. Moritz. We're at the halfway point of the second run of the women's giant slalom, the penultimate medal in the women's races here in the Swiss Alps. Kyrkkäsä has top position and a total time over the 2 legs of 2 minutes 07, spot 59. And the defending champion, Anna Veit, formerly known as Anna Fenninger, is down in 9th position. Still 15 skiers still to go, and the fastest of the first leg will go last of those 15, therefore last of the top 30. Tessa Worley for France, looking for her 2nd gold medal of these championships, but perhaps most importantly, her 2nd World Championship gold in this, the giant slalom discipline. Tina Robnik is ready to go for Slovenia, and Tina absolutely delighted to have skied into 15th position after the first run. She really has a golden opportunity here, maybe not to grab a medal, but certainly to put down a big PB today.
Yeah, and she's and we've just had a little bit of a break as well, which we can see from the snowpack. It's nice and smoothed out. The organisation committee have really got a lot of people on the mountain to try and make the best of the warm snow conditions.
Oh, Robnik goes down. What a disappointment for the Slovenian. Team Slovenia having such a good championships to highlight the gold in the downhill. It's not the first time we're going to see this error, Finley, but it is commonplace on the world scene these days.
Yeah, just as you come over the breakaway here, the hill falls away. She tries to feather the top of the turn, and then the power's just not there. The snow breaks away, and she loses that outside ski, and down she went.
Yeah, that split second of indecision on the blind roller means that she changes the tactic, and that turn of that drift and punch, or stivet as sometimes they call it's a horrible word for a ski technique, stivets.
Float and sting.
Yes, exactly.
I like a bit of
drift and
sting.
punch.
Drift and punch.
Yeah, but anyway, coaches will be coaches.
Yep.
And a big shame for Tina Robnik. She was right on track for a PB there. There's young Melanie Maillard. She's loving the spotlight here, as we said while she was skiing. She was racing the World Juniors this time last year. A remarkable story. Maillard is in second position. It's Michaela Kirchgasser, veteran from Team Austria, who leads with 14 skiers left to go. So good to see this lady back to her best after missing some time through injury. Sara Hector, 14th quickest, 0.21 of a second is the Swedish skier's advantage that she carries forward from the first leg over the Austrian leader.
Yeah, really putting some power down in those early turns to generate the speed. It's flatter at the top. She's still in the green, but just lost a little bit of time. A couple of hundreds gone. And then the big tactical change. It really starts to turn here. And we can see from that great view from above how much energy and effort you have to put into the skis to get them to bend and to come around.
Well, the advantage is gone. The light turns from green to red. That tells us that the Swedish skier has work to do here. Sara Hector now starts to find a nice rhythm. I'd just like her to see a pressure edge and turn a little higher in the race line to try and squeeze a little more speed. But the light goes back to green, and that's exactly why I want that edge earlier, because the errors are coming towards the end of the challenge. Losing the ski, and it breaks away. She goes for the line. And she's got it. Well done, Sara Hector. 0.08. Well, she shrugs her shoulders. She knows that she lost the turning ski on a couple of turns, particularly on those left foot turns where the piste falls away.
Yeah, she had a couple of mistakes, especially here on the undergate over the jump and the blind rise. She picked the wrong line, had to completely stand the hip up and out, and then get back on it again.
Sweden take the lead from Austria. Let's take nothing away from Sara Hector.
There will be attacks all over this country. Do you understand me?
There's a situation at CTU. I'm the...
Sweden take the lead from Austria. Let's take nothing away from Sara Hector. She's getting stronger and stronger as she makes that comeback. She only came back to the World Cup Tour a month ago. And that's why Sara is full of smiles. Good performance from her. Let's go back to the top. It is a chance for Austria to regain the lead immediately. Bernadette Schilt, the younger sister. Oh, my apologies. This is Petra Vlhova. Schilt will ski after Vlhova. Now, Petra played such a good role in the Slovakian surprise silver medal. They really were the giant killers of the tour. We loved it. Knocking out Italy, Germany, Switzerland to get to the final, only to be beaten by a couple of tenths by the French for the gold. But it has lifted the Slovakian Ski Association, and it has really lifted their athletes for the final two medals of the women's competitions.
Yeah, absolutely. On that parallel slalom, we saw how quickly she could put that hip into the turn and gain the grip underneath. And she's showing us again that today in the giant slalom skis. Really clean lines. We can see the clean arcs being left in the snow after she skied across the surface. She's beautiful turns.
A very tall, long-levered athlete, and that helps her to get some very good angles on the turning ski, but it can also mean that when the feet are so far away from the body that you can get pulled over just as quickly. But Petra Vlhova of Slovakia looking to take the lead from Sweden, Sara Hector, and she's done it by 1/100th of a second. Oh, exciting stuff as we get to the faster skiers now, get down to the business end of this second run. Slovakia take the lead from Sweden with Kirchgasser now down to third. Kristin Lisdal for Norway. never better than 17th in World Cup competition, but this young Norwegian skier, just turned 20 years of age, has been in the top 30 in all 3 of the women's individual competitions here in St. Moritz. The best of those 3 results, 17th in the Alpine combined. Finley, the Norwegian team brought this young lady along to get experience of championship competition, looking ahead to Pyeongchang 2018, even Beijing 2022. But she's taken every opportunity that they've given her and really put some good skiing down the mountain.
Yeah, she really has at the top section, but she just lost the rhythm of the middle of the pitch here, and she got really late in the line. We can tell she's one of the younger Norwegian racers by the fact that she's wearing the red suit. The more experienced A team are in blue suit for the Norwegians, and she still is a B team member.
I've been impressed by this young lady. I think she's got a real future ahead of her. Now she's learning the game, she's learning the ropes. Like many of the up-and-coming stars, she was racing in the junior circuit just a couple of seasons ago. But she's got such grit and determination. She really won't let anything go. There's many a skier that would have gone down for those errors further up the challenge. But Kristin Lisdal, 12th position. Make a note of this young lady's name in your book and pad as a skier to watch for the future. 4 races, 4 top 30 results. Well, look at Petra Vlhova towering over Kirkgasser and Sarah Hector. She's a very tall lady. She's a beautiful skier to go with it as well. Now, in complete contrast, one of the smallest skiers, she's often referred to as the pocket Hercules of the women's tour, will be the last of the top 30 to ski. The 2011 gold medalist and, of course, team gold medalist here, 48 hours. Now, we finally do find Bernadette Schild. I was a little ahead of myself there. My apologies, Finley. And Bernadette, a model of consistency on the slalom tour, but her giant slalom has just started to come together. She skied 11th on the first run, 0.13 of a second is the advantage that she carries forward into this, the second. For me, this could be one of the surprises of this second leg.
Yeah, showing us a really clean set of heels in the opening turns. Not one turn wrong so far, and keeps the green light. She really is attacking this. We can see by her body posture, and she's come into the steep fantastically well. She's changed the tactics without putting a float on the skis. She's managing to get the skis to come across the hill. She's skiing a completely different line to anyone else, and that's why we're seeing the time go to the positive.
Great work from Schild. Her big sister Marley Schild, Olympic silver medalist, 4 times the slalom tour champion, has been giving her a few words of advice, and it looks like big sister's help is coming in very handy here. This is Bernadette Schild flying. The giant slalom penny has just dropped for this young lady, but it's not dropped deep enough. Bernadette Schild caught right on the tails of the skis with a 0.63 advantage. Has she thrown it away? Can she hold on? Schild for Austria goes 7th. What a disappointment after such a brilliant top section.
Just phenomenal turns up the top, just so risky, but that's the danger of risk. When it changes, she got backseat, she was getting later and later in the line, and to make the mistake on the flats, it's just the most costly place to do it. But what I like about her is she didn't back out of it. She never backs out.
She's a tough cookie, Bernadette Schild. What a shame that would have been top position and by over half a second. But we all know the name of the game for ski racing now. And in the World Championship, you're not going to get away with errors like that and still hold on to a medal placing or position. Peter Schucksnadel there in the red and white hat, the president of the Austrian Ski Federation, we'll get there in a minute, or the Österreichische Skibund. Now, all 4 of the Italian racers, because you're only allowed 4 skiers per nation, qualified in the top 10. And here's the first of the quartet. This is Marta Bassino.
Yeah, all the Italian GS skiers love a little bit of risk, and they're willing to put it down, but yep, looking good so far. She's changed her approach a little bit late in the line at the minute, but she's getting it back. She's controlled that well.
Now, this lady has proved her form on the World Cup Tour, twice on the podium in the season opener in Solden, and the last GS before these championships in Kronplatz. So, Bassino here. For most of the opinion leaders at this race today, no surprise to see Italy take the lead. And with another 3 skiers still to go, finding a good dynamic rhythm, showing good form and good strength against that turning ski towards the end of the challenge. Now on these tricky fall-away gates, harder on the left foot, lighter on the right foot. Bassino looks to put Italy in the lead, and she's missed it. Oh, 0.03 of a second, pushing Kirchgasser down into fourth position. 0.01 from first to second, 0.03 from first to third. That's tight.
That's as tight as it gets, and Marta just didn't change her approach when it started to get to the shorter gates. She didn't quicken up the movements of her feet, and that's why she ended up a little bit later in the line there.
Well, they're trying to console Bernadette Schilt in the Schucksnadel. She knew she had it. Ninth position after the first run for the veteran Italian racer Manuela Molg, one of the oldest ladies in the competition, now at 33 years of age, but along with her older brother Manfred Molg will both race GS and slalom for Italy. And what Manuela needs to do here right now is just draw on those skills and miles under skis. This is her 13th start in a World Championship competition.
That's an amazing amount of experience to have from World Championships every 2 years, and she's really strong on the outside ski coming all the way down the steep. She hasn't backed out of the turns yet, and as we see the breakover, she's nice and early. This is good looking for the flat.
Oh, Manuela Molg really got a nice soft touch against the turning ski, and that's one of the skills that's required when the snow starts to go a little softer and slushier due to the warm weather and heat from the sun. Just got to not get tired now. Got to still straight strong. Hold your form. She can now see the finish line. Beautiful performance from Molg. Italy into top position by over 0.6 of a second. Experience takes Molg to the top of the table. She knows it's good. We saw it for ourselves. And Finley, I think that could be a bronze medal.
Absolutely. Take a bow. That was phenomenal. Right on the limit of the risk. We thought she was risking too much through the middle. She wasn't quite moving, but she kept the speed all the way through the flats. Here we see her, I mean, the hip on the snow surface in the middle of the turn. Great technical ability.
13th World Championship start. Could it be lucky for Manuela Molg at the top of the table, leading for Italy with 8 racers left to ski? It's 8 races still to go to decide the medals in the women's giant slalom. Let's go down into the finish area and hear for the defending champion, Anna Veit of Austria.
Anna, bis auf einen kleinen Fehler ganz oben eine sehr geschmeidige Fahrt. Wie hat sie sich für dich angefühlt?
Ja, es war vom Gefühl her einiges besser wie im ersten Lauf. Auf alle Fälle, natürlich der Fehler war leider nicht klein, sondern eher groß. Ich habe fast einen Steher gehabt, aber ja, ich habe versucht weiter zu kämpfen, weil aufgeben tun wir sicher nicht. Und ja, es ist halt jetzt einmal so und muss akzeptieren und weitermachen.
Und wie viel schwerer ist es denn, wenn man körperlich nicht in Topform ist, bei solchen Bedingungen, bei dem weichen Schnee, die Ideallinie zu halten?
Beim weichen Schnee habe ich mir eigentlich nicht so schwer da.
Talking about the soft snow with Anna, is it difficult to put in a good performance?
Und ja, da geht es einfach ein bisschen mehr in die Substanz, aber das ist halt genau das, was ich auch brauche, um stärker zu werden, und deswegen mache ich das.
Ein kurzes Resümee
And tricky snow condition to bring the run down all the way.
Ja, motivierend, ganz ehrlich. Also natürlich.
What are you going to take away from these World Championships?
Was man sich wünscht, aber trotzdem einfach das wieder zu erleben, das motiviert für die nächsten Wochen, Monate.
Wasn't what she expected. Wasn't what I wanted to show. It's been a couple of tough weeks, but nonetheless, so good to have Anna Veit here. And whilst we've been away on that interview, Austria have taken the lead. Stephanie Brunner. Strong on the first leg, equally as efficient on the second. Just 22 years of age from Hintertux in Austria. Brunner takes the gold medal position away from Molg, who goes second for Italy. Valova of Slovakia now down to third. 7 races left to go. Finally a smile for Dr. Peter Schucksnadel. Disappointment for Molg. The Italians will now turn to Brianone and Goggia. New leader on screen, Stephanie Brunner. Back to the top of the Corviglia racetrack here in St. Moritz. Worley just going through her warm-up and pre-race prep. It's Slovenia who will be next in the gate with Anna Drev. Remember, Slovenia already have a gold from the downhill. Can Anna Drev now bring them a giant slalom medal here? A model of consistency on the Women's World Cup Tour, scoring points in all 7 of the pre-championship World Cup races.
Yeah, and she's showing that consistency in this run. She's a little bit more controlled than what we've seen so far. She needs to up that risk level, but that was a beautiful turn. She generated a lot of speed out of that one.
Experienced racer Anna Drev has World Championship form going back as far as 2005. 10th in this race in 2013, had a slip up in 2015 and only took 24th. But the experience could be the key ingredient to success for the Slovenian.
This is really the quick movement where you have to be so fast from one turn to the other, and she's struggling a little bit, getting thrown in the air.
Drev looking a little tired towards the end of the challenge. 2:06.85, 2:07.36. A Drev into 3rd position.
Yeah, a really consistent performance down there. Not too much risk, under control the whole way. Couple of real accelerating turns, but generally just kind of within herself. We've seen her be more aggressive than that in the past.
Schifrin prepares, 3rd quickest after the first run. She's looking for a real charge because she needs to make up over 7/10 of a second against the French leader Tessa Worley. In the gate for Norway, last chance for the Vikings now. This is Nina Loset. 6th position from the first leg, 0.13 of a second the advantage over the current leader, Steph Brunner from Austria. This lady has been on the podium in the World Cup Tour in Tillington, Vermont, where she was skied into 2nd position to Tess Worley. A lovely touch on this softening snow, and I like the way she stands right in the middle of the ski with a very soft, loose ankle flex to keep her in position and balance.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, Nick. She really is on the middle of the ski, and she looks so relaxed when she's skiing. She can get such a deep hit position, but she's still controlled with it. She needs to take a little bit more risk for me right now to try and create more speed for the flats coming up.
Well, there is no question this lady is one of the favourites to bring Norway another medal at these championships in Saturday's slalom competition. Last race for the women, and of course we'll show it live here on Eurosport. But there is work to do for Nina Loset. Not quite as aggressive as the current leader Brunner from Austria. Now she starts to pinch the line. Now she starts to charge, but it looks all a little too much too late for Norway as Nina Loset goes into 6th position. Total time of 2:07, spot 52. Beautiful technique, but not enough aggression for me, Finlay.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see her standing right on the middle of the skis in the middle section, and that's where she lost quite a lot of her time on these harder turns that are more across the hill. And as we see her here in slow-mo, she's running the later line. We know that that's not the fastest way down.
Swiss fans are up on their feet. This is the last chance for the host nation to grab a medal in this women's giant slalom, taking 5th position after the first run. This is Simone Wild. 0.23 of a second is the young Swiss skier's advantage, and she'll need every bit of that 0.23. The faster skiers from the first leg have to deal with the ever decreasing and almost infuriating snow conditions. Starting to get a little bumpy and rutted out there, Finlay.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be in that 5th coming down, or 5th last, should I say, coming down to want to hit that podium. You've got to take the risk. It seems manageable and doable. She's really running a late line now. This isn't as clean as we saw in the first run. She's struggling to stay ahead of this course. Fought really well at the bottom part of the steep there to get back in line, but it's been costly to try and get that line back. That's why we're seeing in the red by 1.02.
Yeah, there's way too much work at the end of the turn. All of the effort should go in the top part of the pressure edge and turn around the gate. And 1.11, not even this talented young Swiss racer will find that kind of time on the last few turns. Damage limitation now for Simone Wild. This is her first World Championship experience, and the nerves may have got the better of her second run performance. 2:07.90, dropping from 5th to 10th position.
Yeah, I think the nerves came into play, and then she made a few bad tactical choices at the top of the pitch. Ended up in the lowest line and had to fight so hard to get back where she wanted to be in her line. That's a big reset after the gate. Twisting and the skis out of the clean carve right before the flats.
Four racers left to challenge, 2 from Italy, the USA and France. The first to go, the Italian skier, Federica Brianoni, silver medalist in the World Championships of 2011 in this, the giant slalom discipline. Quarter of a second is the advantage for the Italian over the Austrian current leader, Stephanie Brunner.
Oh, fantastic turns at the top. So clean to the new edge. And gaining time because of it.
Almost adding 0.2 of a second from that start-out advantage to the first time split.
Nice high early line, a little bit of air there, but she's straight back onto a clean edge. Oh, slightly lower in the line at the bottom part of the steep as well. She's had a couple of heavy edge sets.
Great recovery from Brianoni. She needs to pick it up again now. She's back in the racing line, has regained the rhythm and flow to this course. Got to work the terrain towards the end of the challenge. Here's the next split. Back 0.3 ahead, and Brianoni here now can hear the crowd. She can see the line. She drives hard. Look how much she's saved for these closing turns. Italy surely take the lead. By how much is the question? 2:06.47, nearly 0.4 of a second. The right side of the clock for Federica Brianoni. Italy into the gold medal position. Italy still have Sofia Goggia to ski, but Brianoni may have well done enough there to claim her second World Championship giant slalom medal of her career to date.
So clean, so explosive on the upper turns for Brianoni. And then we can just see the building of pressure through the turn so clean. And that's a little bit of air that she got in the middle of the steep where she lost a little bit of the line. But she got it back towards the bottom, and she got it back good.
Wonderful ski from Brianoni. Such an exciting athlete and racer to watch and follow. Schifrin out on course for the United States of America. Odds-on favourite for Saturday's slalom. But can she do the business for the first time in her illustrious career and grab a medal in giant slalom day here in St. Moritz? Good opening turns from Schifrin. Look for the light. It's green. She's lost just over 1/10, but she's still ahead of Brianoni.
Yeah, she talked about a second run charge, and she's looking like she's trying to get after it. A couple of floats at the top of the turn. She's not been as clean at the top of the turn as we've seen for Brianoni. 0.2, the green light stays to her favour.
A little error on the breakaway. Spectacular recovery. Beautiful skills to keep the momentum, to keep the flow and rhythm going. Schifrin now pays the price for the error. It's just 1.5. Now she starts to push hard for the line. It's been 32 years since an American has won World Championship giant slalom gold. Schifrin, strong, powerful, into the tuck, dips for the line, and it's the USA into gold medal position. 2:05.89, and with 2 skiers left to go, Schifrin picks up a medal. The question is, will it be bronze, silver, or gold? Schifrin is ecstatic. Her first ever World Championship GS medal. And she has really put the pressure on Goggia and Worley, who ski last of all. Some spectacular recoveries there, Finlay. Let's hope the director picks them up.
Yeah, she charged indeed, especially at the lower part of the challenge. When the turns got shorter, she moved quicker. She's got that explosive power, and she kept the power going to the last gate.
Sofia Goggia of Italy, 0.24 of a second her advantage over the new American leader, Michaela Schifrin. Penultimate racer to go here. She has a dual task. Take the lead from America, put the pressure on France, who will ski last of all. Now, she's had her focus and concentration issues at these World Championships. Can Goggia finally conquer the mountain and bring Italy their first medal at these World Championships?
Goggia, so exciting to watch. She's such a huge risk taker. She got her arm stuck in a pole in the first run, which cost her the lead, and she's just being absolutely pin accurate in this second run so far.
The 24-year-old Italian so bitterly disappointed with her fourth position in the downhill, showing her all-round quality and skill in the Czech races here, and the light is still green, but this is where she needs to focus, and this is where she needs to dig deep. It's the lower part of the challenge where Goggia threw her downhill chances away. Will she take gold for Italy? Schifrin watches on. Goggia has missed it again. Silver medal for Goggia. Schifrin takes silver. Goggia knows that's good enough for a medal. Italy are in the medals, on the medal table at last. Not good enough for gold, but Goggia will take silver or bronze.
Yeah, Goggia, some great skiing at the top, but she just didn't have the power in the leg that Schifrin had down the bottom. They're losing the time in the bottom section. She took the risks, but she didn't quite have the power for gold.
9 times on the podium on the World Cup Tour. She's yet to win one. You'd think she'd won here today. That's how much this medal means for Goggia. After coming under a little bit of criticism from the Italian media after her downhill performance, she silences her critics. We need to find a giant slalom world champion, and this is the last skier in the race. 0.72 is a very healthy advantage for Tessa Worley of France. Oh, the nerves are there. Twisted and sideways on gate number 2. Worley needs to recompose here.
Can she settle? We saw her ski the cleanest of anyone in 0.55. It's not cost her too much. It looked like a big mistake, but it hasn't cost her hugely. Clean to the new edge, the tactical change. She has the good early line.
Settles the nerves. Tess Worley has the roughest and toughest of conditions, and she's back with the rhythm, back with the green light, and back with nearly 3/4 of a second advantage. Surely now, Worley, who won this championship back in 2011, just needs to follow the race line, flow with momentum, and let the skis do the work.
1.78 her advantage. She needs to move quick. We know she's a powerhouse.
Gold in the team for Worley, and now it's looking like gold in the giant slalom. 6 turns to take in, tight on the line. It's got to be France. It's Tessa Worley. 105.55, her second World Championship gold in St. Moritz, her second GS gold in her career. 3 gold medals to date for Worley, silver for Schifrin, and Goggia takes the bronze. Oozing class and quality after a little bit of a scare on gate number 2. She recomposed, found the rhythm, optimum line, and what a great gold medal for Tessa Worley, and it's congratulations again to Team France.
Yeah, fantastic performance, especially to suck up the pressure after that early mistake and show us some of the best turns we saw down the main part of the steep.
Well, nothing but respect for a skier who can win the first run with bib number 1 and take the second going 30th with this warm conditions on the racetrack, softening the snow. She nearly threw it away on the top part of the challenge, held her nerve, beautiful recovery, and then Worley does what she does so well. She has got technique that is out of the textbook, so smooth, so clean. The timing is perfect. And France have their second gold, dominating the team event 48 hours ago, and now dominating the women's giant slalom, the penultimate race in the championship for the ladies. The 1, 2, 3, France, the United States and Italy.
Ski-Weltmeisterschaften 2017 in St. Moritz, präsentiert von Audi.
Well, like I said during the first run, I had the pleasure of interviewing Tessa Worley earlier this week. You couldn't wish to meet a nicer, more dedicated athlete. Interviews are one thing, actually doing the races is another, Finley. You know that well. And she really did ski out of her skin with all the pressure on her today.
Yeah, she had the pressure, and she had the pressure so much in the second run. But the power in the leg and the latter part of the turn with such huge angles, she really is such a powerhouse, and she showed us how much that means today.
Well, after a nightmare in the downhill, Goggia silences her critics by taking Italy's first medal at these World Championships and a well-deserved bronze.
Representing the United States of America,
Schifrin confirms her rise in form of giant slalom, taking the silver medal. Best result of the American team at these championships so far.
Representing France, Tessa Worley.
She's done it again. Gold in 2011 and gold